Hey, thanks so much for joining us here on this Monday, October the 16th. It's beautiful outside. Get outside and enjoy that nice weather. I'm 90s meteorologist Chris Bianchi, and again, it is gorgeous out there today. It's going to be even warmer for tomorrow with some elevated fire danger concerns for tomorrow before things cool down a little bit for Wednesday. But then those temperatures pop back right into the 70s to near 80 degrees by the end of the week. So let's take a look outside and maybe cool you on down a little bit with this view from Loveland Ski Area, where, of course, last week we picked up couple of inches. In fact, we picked up about a foot of snow up here at the Loveland Ski Area from that storm last Thursday and Friday, and that snow can starting to melt on off pretty quickly up there into the high country. Of course, no snow for us yet here along the Front Range, but those fall colors are getting pretty close to about peak levels for us here along the Front Range. Probably not quite there yet, but we're, I think, a few days away from those peak colors and not too far away from that here in Denver as well. So the Front Range, again, getting closer and closer to those peak fall foliage colors. So sunsplash 70s for those highs for today. It is gorgeous outside. Enjoy the nice weather. And if you want it to be a little bit warmer, well, tomorrow we'll be into the low 80s. Could be flirting with a record high here in Denver for tomorrow. Staying sunny, but the winds will pick up for tomorrow, and then a brief cool down for Wednesday with some blustery conditions for the first part of your Wednesday as well. HD Doppler radar quiet as can be thanks to a big dominating ridge of high pressure that is keeping our weather off to our west and our east. Meantime, we're sandwiched in between here along the Front Range, and that's leading to that sun and also much warmer than average weather, and that'll continue for the next little while. Forecast. Sunshine abound for the rest of tonight. No weather concerns, but we might notice a little streak of clouds there along I-76 for tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night. That is that next front that is set to move its way on through the region, and that will bring us much cooler conditions for your Wednesday, but it is a brief and not a particularly substantial cool down, but you will certainly notice much cooler conditions by your Wednesday. Meantime, 73 for us in Denver right now. It is, again, fantastic out there. 60s for the most part into the high country for today. That's about our high, right? We're right around our average high temperature this time of year, and we are going to be right around 73 degrees for that high for today. Already, again, those highs are basically taking place as we speak. For tonight, we'll drop back into the mid-40s for us. It's a little bit warmer than average. Those 40s for the most part in the eastern plains, and 30s for the most part into the high country, depending on your elevation. For tomorrow, though, we spike up those temperatures a little bit, and that is thanks to our next system approaching from the north and west. That'll give us some downsloping winds, and that means we're going to accelerate those air particles, and you'll feel the warmer air that comes as a result of those downsloping winds and those accelerating air particles. That's what warm air is here, folks. It's air molecules moving faster, and you feel the friction from that warm air moving, or from that air moving quicker and quicker. That's what you're feeling when you feel warm air. And tomorrow we're going to have a lot of those air molecules moving around really quickly with those highs into low 80s for us. Our record high for tomorrow, 86. That was set back in 1926. Been an outside shot of getting that for tomorrow, but unlikely to get there. Probably a few degrees shy. No matter, though, mid-80s for the most part in the eastern plains. This is a map from late August that we're showing you here in the middle of October. 50s, 60s for those highs for the most part into the high country. Now, those winds, let's take a look at those, because those winds will be a factor for tomorrow. And especially during the afternoon, those winds will pick up in the foothills along the Cheyenne Ridge in far northern Colorado. And if you're heading to the high country, it looks blustery basically all day long for tomorrow. So just keep in mind the wind will be around throughout much of tomorrow before those winds should relax a little bit for tomorrow night and into your Wednesday, though we could still have some leftover gusts for Wednesday morning. So behind that front, it's a little blustery as mentioned for Wednesday, and it does cool on down for your Wednesday as well. And that 7-day forecast, temperatures mostly in the 70s and 80s. So again, that Wednesday cool down, I put that in quotation marks. Our average high for this time of year is around 65, 66 degrees. So we're talking about a high of only 72 degrees. That's still close to 10 degrees above our seasonal average. So we're still running well above average. And then by Thursday and Friday, back near 80 degrees. So it's going to be cooking for the next little while. And then it's not until early next week that we get our next chance for rain. And even at this point, that little chance for rain doesn't look all that substantial. Now, that might have you thinking about snow. When will it snow? Our average first measurable snowfall date is on Wednesday, October the 18th. And if you look back at the last couple of years, we've had very late first snows, because last year it was November the 3rd, and the latest first measurable snowfall on record was on December the 10th. That took place in 2021. So the last 2 years have had much later than average first snowfalls. And the earliest measurable snowfall, that was back on September the 3rd, 1961. And our average first snow date, as I mentioned, is October the 18th. But looking at that 7-day forecast, nothing. Nada. Zip, zilch, nothing in terms of those snow chances over the next week to 10 days. Next week does look to be a little bit cooler and more active, but even that at this point doesn't look all that substantial, and we'll have to keep an eye on that as we get closer. But in the meantime, my bet is that we're going to wait until November for our first measurable snowfall here in Denver along the Front Range. They can always change, but at this point, next 7 days, we're not getting any, and it looks very unlikely for next week that we get any of that snow as well. So we're probably going to come and go through the month of October with a snowless October for the third consecutive year, despite the fact that our average first measurable snowfall is on October the 18th. Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin will be in for the 4 and 5 today, and then we'll have Meteorologist Danielle Grant in at 6, 9, and 10 tonight on the 90s Family Network, so be sure to check out Danielle and Kathy for the latest on all things Colorado weather. Once again, I'm 90s Meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for joining us here on 90s Plus. Enjoy the wonderful weather, and have a great rest of your Monday.